It was meant to be just another televised conversation, an open dialogue meant to show a softer, more personal side of the younger royal. But what happened under the blazing studio lights that night became something far more dramatic. The Duke of Sussex, calm and collected at first, soon found himself on the defensive as the veteran American interviewer began to probe deeper into the cracks of his carefully built public image. What started as polite questions about family and duty soon turned into a tense verbal battle that the audience could feel through the screen. The exiled prince, known for his composure, began to falter, his expressions revealing frustration as the questions grew sharper and more personal. The interviewer, celebrated for her sharp instincts and decades-long career, wasn't afraid to touch the subjects that made others uncomfortable: strained family ties, conflicting media statements, and the emotional wounds that still seemed fresh despite the years. When she mentioned his late mother, the beloved princess who once captured the world's sympathy, the air in the studio shifted. The younger royal's tone changed instantly. His words became slower, his gaze heavier. It was a moment that silenced even the live audience. For a brief second, the world saw not a prince or a public figure, but a son still haunted by grief and guilt. But the seasoned journalist didn't stop there. Her next question drew comparisons between the prince's criticism of the press and his own use of media platforms to tell his truth. That line struck deep. The royal tried to respond calmly, but the tension was unmistakable. His rehearsed charm cracked, revealing flashes of irritation and vulnerability. Cameras captured every twitch, every pause, every struggle to maintain control. By the end of the exchange, it was clear that the interviewer had gained the upper hand. What was meant to be a story of understanding had turned into a moment of raw exposure. Within hours of the live broadcast, social media was ablaze. Clips of the prince's uneasy reactions circulated widely. Analysts called it one of the most uncomfortable televised interviews in recent memory. Some defended him, saying he was unfairly cornered. Others claimed he had finally been confronted with contradictions he had long avoided. Regardless of interpretation, one thing was certain: the charm and control he often displayed in public seemed to vanish that night. Behind the scenes, reports suggested that the Royals team was caught off guard by the intensity of the questions. They hadn't expected the veteran journalist to be so relentless. Yet for those familiar with her reputation, the confrontation was predictable. She had always believed that truth comes from pressure, and that's exactly what she applied. For the prince, that night became an unforgettable lesson in the dangers of live television. He had sought openness, but instead found vulnerability. And though he later moved on, speaking about new beginnings and life beyond the palace, the memory of that evening lingered, a televised moment that stripped away the polish and left only the person beneath the title, flawed, human, and unmistakably real.